All right, let's get real. Let's strip it down and dive deep. Have you ever wondered why some men dive in head first when it comes to her pleasure, while others act like they're walking into a battlefield? What's really going through a man's mind in those moments? Is it fear, love, ego, or could it be something even deeper? Here's the kicker. This isn't really about sex. It's about us as men, about who we are, and about who we could become. So stick with me, because by the end of this, it might just change the way you see yourself forever. 1. The pleasure in giving. Let's start with something most men don't fully grasp. True confidence isn't about what you take, it's about what you give. Some men discover an extraordinary power in giving pleasure, in making their partner feel seen, valued, and adored. Not because they expect something in return, but because giving itself becomes the reward. It's like crafting a masterpiece. Imagine this. You're painting a sunset on a blank canvas. The masterpiece isn't finished until you see her smile, feel her trust, and sense her body relax. That's the payoff. Not your ego, not dominance, just her joy. Think of it this way. Stoicism teaches us to control desire, not to suppress it, but to wield it. What if giving could become the ultimate control? When you stop chasing validation and instead become a source of it, that's when you rise. 2. The emotional bond. Here's the secret ingredient no one tells you about. Emotional intimacy. It's not just about the act, it's about vulnerability, about closeness, about looking her in the eyes and letting her see you, really see you. That's when walls come crashing down. Sure, vulnerability is scary, it always is. But for a Stoic man, facing fear isn't optional, it's a duty. And here's the truth. When you let go of your ego and embrace her fully, trust and connection aren't just born, they flourish. Example, picture a soldier in battle who, despite the chaos around him, drops his weapon and extends his hand to his enemy. In that moment, he risks everything but gains the chance for peace. That's what vulnerability feels like, risking yourself but gaining something immeasurably deeper. 3. Curiosity crushes comfort. Curiosity is what drives boldness. Some men approach intimacy as an explorer would, listening, learning, adjusting. Imagine you're a scientist studying the art of her. Every reaction, every breath, every movement is a clue. You're not there to rush the process. You're there to understand it, to discover her rhythm, her preferences, her boundaries. When you approach intimacy with the same curiosity you'd bring to uncovering a mystery, that's when it stops being physical and becomes art. The power flip. Let's turn up the heat. Oral sex. For some men, it's an act of submission, handing her the reins and saying, "This moment is yours." That takes courage. For others, it's about mastery, the ability to bring her to the edge and back, like a conductor leading a symphony. Whichever way you look at it, it's a delicate dance between strength and vulnerability, and when done with respect, it's pure magic. 5. Breaking free from insecurities. Let's face it, most men carry their insecurities into the bedroom. Thoughts like, am I doing it right? Does she like it? Is this enough? Society messes us up, teaching us to chase perfection instead of presence. But here's the truth. Perfection is a trap. She doesn't want flawless technique. She wants you. Real, present, and intentional. Stoicism reminds us to let go of what's outside our control and focus on what we can. Show up with effort, with care, with an open mind. That's what truly makes a difference. 6th, taboo is a chain. Why are so many men still afraid of oral sex? Because of outdated taboos, shame, and toxic notions of dominance. Real intimacy doesn't care about stigma. It's about acceptance. Loving every part of your partner, physically, emotionally, and yes, sexually. When you let go of those chains, you're not just freeing yourself, you're telling her that she's seen, accepted, and loved for who she truly is. That's power. 7. The secret to connection, communication. Here's the most underrated hack. Talk. If you can't discuss openly what she likes, what she needs, and how she feels, you're missing the foundation of intimacy. Ask questions, watch her body language, be willing to experiment. This isn't about ticking boxes, it's about exploration. And when you embrace honest communication, the pressure fades, and what's left is magic. 8. The giver's high. Here's one for the real ones, giving without expecting anything in return. The Stoics called it virtue. We call it love. When her joy becomes your mission, you both win. Relationships thrive on care and trust, not ego or games. Example, picture a gardener planting a tree. He knows he may never sit in its shade or taste its fruit, but he nurtures it anyway, for the beauty it brings to the world. That's the power of giving. Final thoughts. Be the man who dares. At the end of the day, relationships aren't built on grand gestures. They're built on the small, consistent acts of care, curiosity, and vulnerability. Be the man who dares to prioritize connection over ego, who chooses intimacy over fear. If you're ready to go deeper, not just in your relationships, but in understanding yourself, start the journey. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day with intention and love. Because real men aren't afraid to love boldly. Let's redefine what it means to truly connect. And in doing so, let's break the cycle for the better.